Hey guys, Budo Jake here. I'm here with my friend AJ Albert. It's been a while since I talked to you, at least on camera.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, AJ's been a teacher here in Irvine, California for a number of years. How long have you been teaching?
I think 7 years.
And who have you trained with over those years?
I trained with Eric Paulson and Kleber Luciano, and when Kleber's back then also had Kings there and Shootbox, so it was like Fabricio Berdum and a bunch of awesome world champions trained there too. And then I got my black belt under Tim Cartmill.
Why did you, excuse me guys, I'm fighting a cold right now, but why did you choose Tim to get your black belt here?
Tim's just one of the best instructors. Like I have trained with a bunch of different people, and really he's so technical. He's kind of like a hidden gem in the jiu-jitsu community, especially out here. He's such a fascinating individual. I like him as a person. That's kind of important, obviously, for me. But on top of that, the way he teaches is structured in a way that my brain likes, and it's just really efficient, really effective approach to jiu-jitsu. So he's, if you guys have never trained with him, you definitely should. Jake, you've trained with him before. He's a stud. Yeah,
and if you haven't seen the episode of Rolled Up that I did with Tim a number of years ago, that's worth checking out as well. So we just finished shooting an instructional with you. You taught mostly a takedown called the cow catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose that? Where does that takedown come from? Why do you like it?
I like the takedown because it's low risk, and I didn't learn to wrestle first. I started with jiu-jitsu. I came from a family of wrestlers, so I was always kind of fascinated by wrestling, but the longer I trained, I kind of learned to wrestle. I learned to shoot, but I never liked getting sprawled on. So also being a little taller than most people, getting low enough to shoot on somebody is kind of difficult. I really like clinching and takedowns with the clinch. So this takedown works by using a clinch where I can set it up off submissions, I can get submissions off it, or I can take someone down into submission. So to me, it's a really simple takedown that doesn't require a lot of skill. You can teach a beginner this takedown, which is way more difficult to teach somebody to shoot. I could teach someone a cow catcher their first day. And so when I go abroad, I teach a lot in seminars, and most people don't do it. It's a wrestling technique. It's done in catch wrestling, and it's done in wrestling as well. So it's just I kind of believe in borrowing things from other arts. So for me, grappling is not about Gracie Jiu-Jitsu or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You should use what's useful. So if it's catch wrestling, sambo, judo, whatever they got, I want to use it if it's good. So I borrow whatever I can and try to make it work with Jiu-Jitsu.
So this cow catcher instructional, what will someone get if they watch the whole thing?
Well, they're going to get one basic wrestling tie-ups, which they should incorporate into their jiu-jitsu already. And a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms don't do takedowns in general, so there'll be an in-depth look at how to get to the position, tie people up and control them, and then how to successfully get the takedown and deal with people's counters. So I think they'll get a lot out of just one technique and what they can build off it.
And you've already mentioned it, but one thing I like about you is that you're very open-minded to learning from a lot of different people. I know you've trained with Hickson and Danaher just in the past few months.
Right.
A ton of other guys. Who do you think has been the most influential recently? You mentioned Eric Paulson and Tim Cartmill, but anybody else recently?
Yeah, I think Danaher influences everybody. I mean, the way he teaches is similar to Tim because it's so technical that you have to pay attention to what the guy's saying. It's incredible the way he breaks techniques down. I trained with Hickson recently too, and that was really fun. But like you said, borrowing from other things, really the biggest influence probably on me was Bruce Lee. I started in Jeet Kune Do, and I think the lessons that I learned there was kind of like, there's a quote of Bruce Lee that's like, use what's useful, reject what's useless, and then add what's your own. And to me, that's like an approach to all styles, striking, grappling, whatever. People get really dug into their style and what they want to do. So I always like guys like Eric, who he does everything. Yeah. So he was an Inosanto guy too. Yeah. And Tim's the same. Tim started doing Chinese martial arts. So for me, the guys that can really borrow from things and advance on them, I appreciate more, or someone who's really technical like Danaher.
Yeah. So this might be a little difficult question to answer, but what's one thing that you used to believe about jiu-jitsu that you don't anymore?
That's a good question. I think in general, it's kind of like when people go to school at first. I think you get an attitude when you get an education like you're really smart and you want to argue with people. And I think when you start a martial art, you think it's the best. But I think the best is a mixed system. And so there's a lot of people who promote jiu-jitsu only. If you just know jiu-jitsu, you're probably going to be able to defend yourself in a street fight. But in a high-level thing or against other fighters, being well-rounded and knowing more than one thing is better than solely being into jiu-jitsu. And for me, I was obsessed with it when I started. And I think the older I get, I try to appreciate other styles more so than just only knowing that.
Is there anything else? I know you've been studying Danaher's heel hook system.
Yeah.
Anything else you're looking forward to diving more into in the future? I know you've done a lot of takedown training.
Yeah, man, I love judo. Like, I wish I had a judo black belt or had a good place to train it. I think I'm a little hesitant to get thrown for hours to get a black belt, but I really like to study any kind of like just folk style wrestling. Judo, I like watching Mongolian wrestling videos. Like, I really nerd out on grappling videos as much as I can. So for me, anyone who comes out like Danaher, I from the beginning, I think our generation had DVDs. You know, when I started, there was no YouTube. Maybe just started, if it wasn't even a thing. So it's like, I think there's a generation of jiu-jitsu people that maybe wouldn't use technique videos or wouldn't even acknowledge it, and I'm okay with it. If someone puts out a quality video, I want to check it out. Jiu-jitsu is always changing, so for me, anything that's on the rise, I want to learn and try to sink my teeth into.
Yep. And for you guys out there, sink your teeth into AJ's instructional, all on cow catcher and tons of variations. I think there's 24 different techniques. AJ's a great teacher, so you'll get a lot out of that. It's available on DVD, on demand, and iOS app. And if you're in Southern California, check out his academy, Valhalla. What's the website?
It's ValhallaBJJ.com, and then my Instagram is Coach AJ Albert, and Valhalla BJJ also on Instagram. Yeah, come down. Everybody's welcome in our gym. We don't like to have politics. It's an open door. If you're a good person and you want to train jiu-jitsu, you can come to my gym.
What if you're not a good person?
Go to Jake's gym.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.